All right, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to Mangalku, the monthly Mangalku, where we read the first 3 volumes of a series. We talk about it, we give a spoiler-free review, and then we go way in depth, probably sometimes too much, and discuss the inner fine details. This month, we are doing A Witch's Printing Office, and it's a pretty standard manga. The one cool thing about this is you find out the moment you start reading is it started off as a webcomic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It got picked up into an actual manga, which is cool. That's really cool.
Does it say that in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like blazed through this.
Yeah,
Sam mentioned it last time too.
It's only 3 volumes. And like that's all that's out right now.
Oh, okay.
There's really not even like a wiki for this. Like most stuff that we read will have a wiki and things like that. So, but it does have a following. But it's just, I guess, not that much
Josh,
of a following.
You can't read the wiki on this one.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So
that's my go-to
the basic setup for this manga is that you have your classic girl from modern day Tokyo gets transported to another world.
Yes.
And
we've been reading a lot of styles.
Yeah.
That's a very popular genre right now.
Got you.
Like very popular. And basically her strategy of finding out how to get back home is she's going to open a comiquette, which is like a Comic-Con, over in the magical world, but for magic, so she can find a spell to get sent back home.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. And then she eventually opens a printing office so she could get more spells sent through her and she can look at them. And shenanigans ensue, and it's a kind of like a comedy slice of life manga.
Yeah.
I would.
So let's give a spoiler-free. Did you like it? No, yes. Would you continue reading it? Jose, you want to go first? What do you think?
It was all right.
It's all right?
Yeah.
Would you continue reading it after this? There's going to be another volume, I think.
I'm with the if it was an anime, yes. It's just it's a little too much for me to read all.
It is. There's a lot of reading in here because it's a very and there's a lot of inside jokes as well.
Of inside jokes, a lot of nonsensical text in the sense of it's like, I would say that they're very good at building like a world around stuff. There's a lot of conversations that aren't important, but
the art style, the world building, I think it's all great.
Fantastic.
Super good.
We'll get more into that later.
I guess we should say the story is by Mochinchi, and the art is by somebody else, Yasuhiro Miyama.
Okay.
Which fucking fantastic.
And like
honestly.
just like the fucking covers.
The
like
covers
these are
great.
I love this style of like manga. Like all the other ones are more of like the plasticky kind of like.
And I
like
think
the glossy kind.
There was one page where they were like, no spoiler, but they were doing an ad, and so they had like a fuck ton of different artists do it. Like, and they gave thanks to all of them. Yeah, they're like thanks to lists of 12 people who helped with the art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool. That's sweet.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
is
if you got
super cool.
because that's hard to draw a lot of different characters with a lot of different styles on purpose. So it's like, fucking draft other people to do it. It's like they'd love to.
See, I was sitting there thinking that they were like thanking people that were in the story.
No.
Oh, okay, I get that now.
So
that's
Josh,
really cool.
What'd you think?
I fully agree with Jose. First volume, I could care less.
Woo.
Yeah.
And second and third, I actually enjoyed. So I would put this in the same category as like Plus Size Elf, where it was enjoyable to read. Would I continue to read it? I know I probably said I would continue to read Plus Size Elf. As I've gotten into more of these, more refined, I would definitely say obviously, 1, I haven't. 2, this wasn't like, I, for one, don't like Comic-Con and stuff like that. I'm not big into cons, so this is very con-centric. Not my thing. So, but it was good. The art, like Jose said, was fantastic, like you said. And I thought the world building in it was actually like really well done. So.
Yeah. So I come from the point of view where I would say this is good. If you like, I would say like Little Witch Academia or something that is kind of like, it's got the magical world to it, but it's more on the slice of life funny side.
Yeah.
You will love this. You will absolutely love this.
Yes.
I'm starting to sound more like my younger brother every day, but there's just not a contingent storyline that runs all the way through.
Yes.
Like after reading all 3 volumes, I just feel like nothing happened.
Well, like what's her main goal is to get back home.
And she doesn't know how she got there.
But it's like I feel like I'm watching like an episodic kind of thing.
But it's like you never find anything else more about it.
Yeah.
It's just by the end of the 3 volumes, you're just like, okay. And that's it.
Yeah.
So again, they do build the world, but they don't build her world. They don't give anything about.
Well, yeah, they do a lot of world building. They show a lot of cool characters.
Oh, I thought
but they
characters are amazing.
Do anything with those characters. Like a lot of the times where you would go to parts of it where it's like, oh, this seems really interesting. They're going to go on a quest or something. It's like half a chapter.
Yeah.
And then they're done because they're more focused, maybe rightfully so, on the comedy
kind
of aspects. And
I like that though. I like the
flowing.
comedy.
And I would say the comedy was way better in the second and third volumes. I
think the third volume they really hit their stride.
The third volume I was cracking up a bit.
I think second one was one of my favorites.
You think so?
Yeah, there was a bit that I want to come back to.
What had my favorite cameo? You guys can all figure out what was my favorite cameo.
One.
Was it the second one? Okay, yeah.
One.
Yes.
I was like,
so,
that one cracked me up too.
I was like, oh, man.
And it is important to note, so it's called a witch's printing office, and we gave the synopsis of it being about spells and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much about making manga.
Which I thought was
pretty
a really
much what it's about.
Yeah,
it's
an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah.
That.
Because they open, obviously, a Comic-Con, which manga is just Japanese comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's very much everything to do with the world is just like another name for something to do with manga.
Yep.
And even to when they're printing stuff and they have editors show up later where they're like shooting spells down, but they're clearly talking about manga.
Yeah.
And they should have cameos from characters. It's like,
I love that.
It's all to do with manga. So even if like, I would say, is it called Bakuman? Is that the one about the person who writes the manga? That's probably more accurate. But if you want kind of like a funny fantasy take on it, this would be good.
I think I agree with you. For what it is, it's really good. But it's not for us.
As someone who has watched Little Witch Academia and it was not my thing, I just watched because Trigger did it. So it was like, I was like, give it a shot.
That's true.
We love you,
Very
Trigger.
reminiscent of this. I would not continue this. I would not even watch it if it became an anime.
And Sam is the guy that actually does continue most things that we read.
And I know, like, you compared to Plus Size Elf, I like Plus Size Elf way more than I like this. I thought it was funnier. It was more straight to the point. This one did a lot of world building, and then I feel like did nothing.
I think for me,
that.
it hit the fantasy aspect of it more than Plus Size Elf did. So that's why I kind of...
Well, that's why I kind of like Plus Size Elf, because they're like, listen, we have this fantasy world. We're just in Tokyo.
Yeah.
We're going to slowly dribble in these characters. You already know the gist. We're just going to do the comedy bits. It's like, I don't need to know the full backstory of the world if we're not going to play in it.
Yeah. But I do, and I'm not talking about Plus Size Elf in a bad way, because I still think that was like our first one. That was great. I still have it very fond in our memories, but like going back,
Those
if
fries.
I was to like, dude, it was good. But I would say between the two, I feel like there was more to this, because that one was like purely, not even purely, it was like comedy and like exercise based, so it could kind of go off into this weird zone. But I didn't hate it. I don't hate either of these. I didn't
take it as you hate it. I'm just saying, me personally, I think Plus Size Elf is better than this for me.
I think that's fair.
This is, I almost feel like it's more for girls.
Yeah, I can
like
definitely see the appeal.
Trends on that side. But I think anyone can like it.
Yeah.
I really do. So with that, let's just pretty much got all of our thoughts on it, and we're going to go into full spoiler territory. If you like any of the stuff that we mentioned, you will like this. It is seriously a well-drawn manga. You learn a lot about manga and like running even your own comic-cat. They talk about a lot of the background stuff of that.
Yeah.
So if any of that sounds interesting, you like fantasy worlds and witches with big boobs and stuff, they're in there.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert coming forward. Thank you for watching. If you just want to get the free quick rundown on the first 3 volumes of Witch's Printing Office, we're going to move into full spoiler territory here. Complete spoilers. So what did you guys think of just the first volume, which is pretty much her just running a Comic-Con?
It was kind of
miserable.
hard.
That is pretty much all the first volume
was
is.
really hard for me.
I genuinely did not like it. I came up to Sam, finished the first one, put it down. I was like, so you liking this? And he hates it when we talk about it before this video, but I always like to give him that shit. And I'm like, did you like it? And he's like, oh yeah, it's good. I'm like, not my thing. I was getting personally triggered because I've gone to enough cons to know that I just don't like cons. We did the virtual market. I thought that was cool, but it just was not my thing. And I was like, I don't care about this world. So, but again, the whole time I was like, oh, this is really well done. Mm-hmm. And again, the world building, the conversations were cool, but I just...
Yeah, see, that was like one of my problems with it is I really like the characters in it.
They are
the
so
characters were
good.
great.
Like, they're all good, but they don't do anything.
Yeah.
They're just like, they're so useless all the time. It's just...
It's like Jose said, that it's like episodic though. You basically get introduced to your characters,
and people like that. Little Witch Academia is the same fucking way, where it's just you see them do little adventures over and over and over. It's like, dude, I do that for a little bit. Get me introduced to the characters, then let's do something, please, for the love of God.
I thought the whole time it was gonna lead up to a little bit more of a little quest or something overarching.
Did it feel like Jose's favorite bit was there's a part where they have a sword in the stone kind of situation, and they have
what's the sword's name?
It is Dwayne.
Dwayne, right?
I don't remember.
It's Dwayne Kigai,
but
or Dwade.
my boy
Sephiroth
comes in.
No relations. Well, literally no relations to the guy who originally owned the sword. It was like, oh, he was the neighbor's grandson.
Yeah.
It was like,
I like how he's like, I can talk to this sword. I know what it wants.
No, I didn't talk to you.
But he's like, no, it's not ready right now. I'll come back some other time.
Because the funny bit is the sword's talking. Like, it's got an inner monologue the whole time, and Sephiroth comes up. Yes, the sword's been calling me. It's like, no, I didn't. No. Who are you? But they had the entire Street Fighter group, which I thought that was cool. And like I love that bit, but I was thinking, they kept like preluding, the Demon Lord's gonna come back, or the Demon King, or whatever, throughout the whole first volume.
I thought it was gonna cause a problem or something.
Yeah, and I thought it was gonna be this thing, like, okay, cool, we're gonna do slice of life first volume, we're gonna slowly build, and then the sword's getting introduced. She's this magical character. She can't do magic.
She can't do much magic except for copying magic, which is how she does her business.
But not even good at it. Like she's gotten pretty good, but not as good as like other people are. And I was like, this is about where it's gonna go off. And it's like, no, we're still back at the printing press.
Like there were a couple of funny parts in all 3 volumes, 100%. Like when she just straight dies at one point,
they just glanced right over that.
Yes. Like they're holding Comic-Con and they have to get rid of a storm.
Yep.
So they all like, you have to go up there and attack the eye itself. We're all going to shoot it with magic.
Yeah.
And then she just appears back on the ground like, you survived. It's like, no, I fucking died. It's like she revived me.
And I was sitting there like, there was more than just her on that ship. Did everyone else die?
They don't ever show.
Yeah, they don't mention it. Yeah.
I genuinely do think they did some great like little bits, but I agree. I
don't think it was enough to like really make it fantastic. And like another bit that sticks out to me that really made me laugh is when they were going into the maze.
Oh my god! And she meets that other dude.
Hold the rope. It's gonna be our only way out. And she walks 2 steps. Hey, so where are we going?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Like, that was good. I was like, man, okay, that's fine.
I like that.
And then when they keep doing, like every time there's a dangerous thing, and she's like, I guess we gotta go. We gotta save money. And the rest of the crew is like, so we're just gonna redo it, right? We're not gonna go in there. It's like, like when they had to go to the dragon's nest, when they had to go to the maze, they did it.
Yep. And they're like, we did it. It's like, wait, we're in the red now. Like we did, and I love it because what's weird. Okay, so I feel like passage of time. I don't understand when the comic hit happens. Does it? Or
it seems to happen so frequently.
Yeah. Like, they have had 3 in the 3 volumes, but 2 of them happen literally within the first volume.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it feels like there should have been 4.
I think they've had a lot.
Yeah, I couldn't keep track of it.
They do a lot of comic cat.
Yeah. It's almost like when they introduce like 2 characters after 2 chapters. It's like, okay, now let's hit them with another comic cat.
And some of them felt like they should have been the same comic cat. Like it's weird. So I wonder if it is like every 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, I kind of assume that as well. That the passage of time is really going because I don't think they would have them so soon.
Oh, but speaking of bits that I love what's his name? The Knight. Broadway.
Yeah.
Broadway. He has to be one of my favorite.
I like how he's like, oh yes, the serious quest. I'm gonna do it. I'm so. And he's like, I'm like a guard.
Yeah. But then he goes ham.
Yeah.
And when he shows up in the 3rd volume, he's like, what I forget what he refers to.
Last couple
Miss
of chapters.
Mika, I can't go on. And he dies.
Yep.
She's like, you can. He's like, okay.
I like the guy who possesses her body, like when she's
was
holding her
really
friend,
good.
and then she's
really
like, I was like, whoa, like is no one noticing that she's talking completely different?
But he like does the best job she's ever done.
Yes.
He's and like, manages everybody. It's like, no talking, got to do this. Yeah. Like, if you have any questions, ask.
So we've talked about it with you before because like Matthew hates comedy and anime. I was sitting like, this is fucking funny. Yeah. But you're right. There was just too many bits, not enough fucking
I just like that they took the fucking sword and they're like, we're going to use this to cut dragon's hide and everything. And then same in that one chapter where she gets possessed. He's like, where's the book? He's like, it's about to get sliced. No!
Yeah.
And it's so fucking funny. But
I guess there's another version of myself that's like a badass.
Yeah.
And they say like some of the chapters they end on, they like to do this thing where they have a little story and then they end it with, but that's a story for another time. Like they basically tell you how it ends in the future. And they're like, we're not going to go that into detail, but here's how it ends.
The bit with the fucking mom and the daughter where the daughter's going around like, I escaped and I needed to like learn about like history.
Yeah.
I was cracking the fuck. I was like, why are they selling this to a child? Really this is fucking. It was basically yaoi.
Yeah.
They were just shipping everything, and then it was like she became.
They talk about the origin of cosplays in this also.
Yeah, dude,
That was fantastic.
What was it?
so
The
great.
two dwarf dudes.
Yes. Yeah. The two blacksmiths.
Oh, yeah,
One,
two
and one of them, they had a fight. Two of their customers had a fight over whose was better. And
Yeah.
then one
And
of
they
them
got
got severely
fucking-
injured. So
yeah.
the guy only makes props now.
Yeah. I like that guy. That guy was funny.
And when they're like, hey, so let's see who can make the best armor. Whoever wins will survive.
She comes in
Right.
this crazy ass
Yeah.
armor. It reminds me of Avatar when he like puts on that armor.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember her name.
I don't remember.
The girl
I liked
put-
her a lot.
I liked her.
She was funny.
She was
Yeah.
super
I don't know.
funny.
They did name her.
They did name her. I
Yes,
just don't
yes.
They
remember.
named everyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call her Brigida because that's what she
Yeah.
reminds me of.
Yeah.
And then she came out wearing that skimpy ass armor.
Yeah.
And I was like, true cosplay.
Yeah.
True cosplay.
And then they shipped it to my boy Broadway.
Broadway.
It was really good, man.
Yeah, no, the
It's
comedy
like-
was
the
fucking
comedy
great.
in this was amazing.
Yeah.
It's just I'm so used to reading Jump stuff that's main.
Which, let's talk about that. That's why I have
Yeah.
my finger on this page. So the 4 factions, they're all specifically related to publishers.
Oh, no shit.
The manga.
Uh-huh.
And they talk about it in the translator's note. So here's what they are. So Sugak refers to Shugakukan, which is a company in Japan. Keidon is Kodansha,
Oh, okay.
which is really popular. Kodaka is Kodakawa.
Oh.
And then Sue is Shueisha, which is the jump
The
people,
jump-
which
yeah.
is the really big faction
Yeah.
that we mean in Volume 3. When you
and-
see the silhouettes of Luffy,
Yeah.
Goku.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, do you like the name drops of Gandalf?
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
but they're so egregious with it. It's just Gandalf.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
It's like, oh, the wizard that slayed the dragon. Nah.
I don't know about that.
It felt like, so we play a D&D campaign with Sam's brothers and JJ, who's in the comments and has been in a few of our videos. He's our DM. It felt like Snow's Fever Dream.
Oh no!
It, like his older brother plays a character that just makes shit up on the fly, and
He's great at he creates the world building for him.
but it's like everything is a rip off like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. He'll try and I feel
I'll
like
flip my coin at you.
Yeah, he flicks plat at
Plat,
women.
yeah.
Well, we got to take this ring to fucking Gandor or some shit. We gotta fly. Oh,
The
well, we got
Fire
out of
North
the
Mountains.
We got out of the cave, and the Eagles were waiting for us, but they waited too long, so that, they had to go.
I was surprised by like how much they referenced in that.
Yeah.
I thought that was super cool.
Yu-Gi-Oh gets brought up.
Yes.
Yeah, it
At
does.
the very end, they get bamboozled, so they go to the people that do Shonen Jump.
Yep.
Now that I know,
Yeah.
which I love that character, the
Yeah.
consultant. I
Yep.
loved her.
The editor,
Um,
which is to represent a manga editor.
Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah.
Just ripped
Right to the
people,
point.
The
Yeah.
eyes were always open.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need to have a talk kind of thing. Like, just super fucking cool. And then she fucking dicks them, and they're like, oh, yeah, they're going to have a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah.
Or basically, what, like a Yu-Gi-Oh
A
summoning card?
Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah.
special monster summoning
summoning
card,
card.
only
Yeah.
available at the event.
I
Yeah.
was like, you
Yeah.
memers.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was like, man, the stuff they got away with referencing, I was like, oh,
Mhm.
fuck, okay.
It was enough to be different, but enough to be like, yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
what
and
it
it
is.
was
It's
kind of-
like slapping your face a little.
It's kind of like almost an homage because there was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. Even like the stuff when they go to the village with the tanks, with the wooden tanks, like that's referencing a different anime that
Oh, really?
has to do with tanks. There
Is
were
it
a
tank-
lot of
it's like
references.
tank, it's a pink girl with the tanks and stuff. or-
Yeah,
I
when
know
they
what
go
you're
to the
talking
tank
about.
town.
Yeah.
So like they really reference a lot, and I think a lot of it is it's basically about making manga in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
So it's just like paying an homage. Like, yeah, here's all these things that are slightly different. It's stuff
And-
that the author obviously loves.
And again, like, they did really well. Like,
I am
didn't.
surprised it isn't as big as it was.
I mean,
think it'd
it's
be-
gotten 3 volumes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
that by standard means it's doing something
solid,
right.
yeah,
And
doing
it's out
well.
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing was, so there were a few times, like, obviously, like the Demon Lord King situation.
Oh yeah.
And that I think is it volume 2 that it's volume 2 that ends on the cliffhanger that while they're at Magic Hat, there's a guy that's looking for another person who's been
Yes.
whisked away.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool. It only took 2 volumes, but we're getting somewhere.
I was
like,
so fucking annoyed, by the way, when that pays off. I was so annoyed.
because it pays off in 2 seconds.
Yes.
And it's done. Like, they do the maze, they find this guy, which I thought that guy they basically they go to this maze because they
lost
gone
the
to a
package.
shipping mage.
Yeah, they're doing shipping stuff.
And
now.
they teleport it to the east latitude instead of the west latitude. Classic mistake. And somehow they knew it was inside this maze, even though people have never escaped this maze.
Yes.
And it was made by this crazy wizard. And then you see a guy in there. There's people that have died in there and all this stuff. And this guy's like, "Oh, hey, I found your box. This is
he's
super
just carrying
convenient.
it. Yeah.
I have a rope." I'm like, "This is the crazy wizard."
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Oh no, like total nonchalant. Like, yeah, I came from a different world."
Yeah.
It's like,
He hands her the card, right, or something?
Yeah, it would have been totally acceptable for me to be first 2 volumes, we have fun, we meet the characters. End of second volume, they're setting up like, okay, now we're getting to the story of like how she's gonna get back home, how
Yeah.
are they gonna do it, and there's somebody else there, and then they pay it off, and it's this fucking loser guy. Is just like clearly he's just another comedy piece.
Yeah.
And now here we go.
He's the guy who has like the shop where he can't sell anything,
Yes.
and yeah.
But it's like, I did like the bit where they're like, "Wait, you have a bunch of like really old stuff. Like I've never seen any of this. How do you not have a customer?" "Oh,
People
hey,
walk
here's
in."
the
Yeah.
weightlifting one. It's like, it's 10 kilograms. You just pick it up."
Anytime they showed the spells were great.
Yeah.
Because they
yeah.
would give you like a little description, and they always had some sort of backfire thing.
Yeah.
On it. It was like the very first spell that they show you in the manga is the bubble.
Yep. And then
Oh,
they're like,
God.
"Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, there's not enough air in there," and
She
you're like,
could've died
"What?"
multiple times. in
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But so back to the backstory, what's even more upsetting to me is not only did they not build anything into that, you have no idea at the end of 3 volumes what happened to her.
Yeah,
Like, there's
yeah.
no old world.
Well, that witch that's on volume 2,
Claire?
Claire, she's clearly very protective of
Yeah.
Mika, the main
Yeah.
character. So there's something there.
Yeah.
But it's just like you don't know. You
There's
never
absolutely
know
nothing.
how these people met, how they made the printing
I
company.
wanted to see a
You don't
little
know anything.
flashback,
And
or just something.
You don't
to
even
be
know
like how
when
she
Mika
met.
first came
Yeah.
there. You just
Exactly.
you just pop up and you're starting, which in ways could be good, but the story doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I feel like with where you're coming from, because honestly, they got Magicat to fucking go off. Like,
Yeah.
she,
Out of
this
nowhere,
rando,
yeah.
got Magicat to happen. She's not good at magic. Everyone in the world is way better than her. And it was like, how did this person get Magicat? Like, I get it. Once it started, it's awesome.
Well,
like,
that's
she's
where
the
that's
person.
where exactly we need to know. How does she meet these people?
Yeah.
Like, how does she form these
And
relationships?
none
to
of
where,
them know
where she could do that.
She came from a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like they would know with the how close
The only one I
all
feel
of
like
them-
who would know is Claire.
Yeah.
Because
Which
she's
makes
so
sense why
fucking
she's so
protective of her
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. But the only person that actually knew by the end of it was the Demon Lord, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like a random clue.
Yeah.
I thought the Demon Lord, the spell that she had in one of her books was like, when she brought her book in, and it was like her manager was next to her, and they were like verifying that the book was good. I forget what the spell was, but the way they talked about it, I was like, oh, the Demon Lord's gonna have the fucking teleportation spell. And no.
Yeah.
But it was funny. Every now and then she'd say like, "Was it magic to another world?"
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
like because they tease you where it's like the Demon Lord thing is a great point.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about where she goes back and I think she talks about it again like, oh, that person's from another world. And it's like,
Oh.
okay, we're going to get to somewhere. And we just don't.
They just drop it completely.
Straight
yeah.
don't. Unrelated to really the story or the gimmicks that happen, but at the end of volume 3, there's some author's note, I think, after the fucking side gags or whatever, and they mention how this year is going to be really good because the Olympics are coming
to Tokyo.
to
Yeah.
Tokyo. And I'm just like, ooh.
Ooh.
Not this year, unfortunately.
If
Sorry.
the author decides to write about what's currently happening,
yeah.
I wonder what. Oh, he's like, oh, everyone got sick. No one could come to the.
Well, I think the plan for the Olympics, totally fucking off tangent, is going to be next year.
Yeah.
And then if they can't do it next year, they're just going to cancel it.
Oof.
Yeah, because they do every 2 years, but it's
Yeah.
it's the different. But
Yeah.
yeah, one of my favorite bits was the Demon Lord bit. I feel like
love the
that
Demon
it
Lord. Yeah,
was
Demon Lord was cool.
absolutely awesome.
Everyone's
I-
like, oh my god, the Demon Lord.
Yeah.
it was so respectful and everything. I was like, oh, this is great. But yeah, like they could have built up on it. I saw the typhoon thing. I was like, oh, remember they kicked the typhoon guy? Is he
Yeah.
mad? Is he showing up? Because he was one of the demon lords
Yeah.
that was supposed to be there. I was like, it could have gone somewhere and it didn't. And
Yeah.
it's weird.
But it's
just
like
weird.
there are anime that are like this.
Yeah.
Where it's just
Episodic.
people hanging
Like,
around
yeah.
and nothing. Like there's no one story vocal
But-
point at all.
Then they should have taken the isekai part out.
No, that's
No,
just part of
that's
it.
what makes it like unique.
It doesn't-
Though.
I
Right.
just
it
think
adds its charm.
this is not for any of us.
I agree.
It's very clearly like if you like I'm thinking of like Sket Dance is an anime that came out where
Oh,
they were
yeah.
just in high school and they just did jobs every episode, like just different odd jobs.
but
It's very much like this.
People loved Sket Dance too.
where it's just like, hey, here's the setup, which is the genre is called isekai, where somebody gets transported
Yep.
to another world. It's that, but we're just gonna play around and have Comic-Con. That's pretty much all they've set up in this, and they just do gags over and over and over about it.
But she has. There's no established like how she has experience pressing paper.
I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's what they're aiming for. I think
Yeah.
they're literally just aiming for we're gonna make funnies and do
Yeah.
little side jobs in this setup that everybody knows.
But we have an overarching story. We just don't care about it.
Yeah, but I don't even think.
I guess that's my issue.
I don't even think they like. Yeah, you're kind of right because they acknowledge it multiple times, which is kind of blue ball you over it, where they're like the demon lord mentioning that she knows she's from another world.
Yep.
And then like a couple of other times that they mention that there's some way for her to come back, or they're really setting this thing up,
or
and
the
then
sword
nothing comes
situation.
from it.
Yeah.
They keep hinting at a larger story, but it doesn't show up. Where it's like a better way would just be like, just don't bring it up again then, please. It's like,
that's
if we're not going to talk about the story going forward, please just stop bringing it up.
That's why I'm almost like, why bring this as an isekai? Like, what would be the purpose?
Because it's a fish out of water story. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So I get, okay. I feel like but she's so dedicated to this. Like, she is.
I mean, she is and she isn't, though.
Like, her main goal is like, oh, I'm going to find a way so that I can get this magic. But her main goal throughout
the story doesn't feel like that at all. It feels more like we got to make sure we're profitable.
So her main goal is not actually that. Her main goal starts off is that, but then her real main goal is to make money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because she starts upcharging for overnights and stuff like that.
They say that when she finally meets the guy from the other world, they're like, hey, before we come back, let's make sure we have hella cash.
And I like their business model where they start working together, and that's when they reveal
and that's that. I think if we had known that in the front load, that's very clearly her MO is to make money and also find
very escapey. Like, well, if we're able to kill this red dragon on our own, we can bypass all the payments. You know?
That shit was funny. And then she comes back with the dragon hide and everything. They're like, now we can make tons of red dragon scales.
And now it's on the catalog.
So I think if you could just go in where it's like, hey, this is just gonna be like I don't know, like a sketch comedy manga, or it's like that just has the isekai
vibe
genre in it. Don't expect any story to come out of it because it's just I honestly just don't think it ever will. I think they will continue doing this format of goofs and gaffs about the manga industry and being in another world. Yeah. And that will be it.
But again, you know, and we keep harping on it, but like they made that one grand mage come in, like he, I forget the Chad dude, the surfer guy that was, he came in and
guy who was running away,
and he was talking to the sword, and he's like, she's gonna be a great witch one day or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like,
I like that guy. What was he? He like ran away. He was hiding, and then she's like, "Hey, you've never had a vacation? Come on, hang out with me."
Yeah. Well, she tried to narc on him like immediately.
Yeah. She's like, "Hello, this is the person you're looking for. Suspicious."
Yeah, and like he was funny. I liked him, but they keep using him as like that girl's gonna be big one day, and then by the end of volume 3, and we've talked about like, oh, should we just do 1 volume? Should we do 2? Because you know it's a lot at some point. And normally after 3,
it was just the first chapter that kind of like intimidated me a little bit, or the first volume, because I was just like, geez,
so wordy.
Well, what I think you were gonna say is right, where we've had a very good run on the first 3 volumes of. It's a great setup, and it leaves you on a fucking hook. We've had a fantastic run on that.
Yeah, and that's how most of us will always.
It just doesn't. It doesn't go anywhere.
And it's so wild to me because it has the makings of everything good. It has great world building. There's no overexertion on how to build the world. Like it's not
constantly feeding you info.
Because they're feeding the main character info, and you get that info based off of that. The artwork's fantastic. The jokes are fantastic. Like it's about stuff we're passionate about. But at no point is it like, oh yeah, that's my jam. Yeah. Like everything should have been good for us. But
it just needs like a solid storyline behind it to get me invested into it.
Progress.
I just can't get invested into it if we're gonna constantly do the same thing over and over and over and over and never get any progress done. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Where it's like even fucking Cowboy Bebop eventually gets to the story.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like it was I did not have any problem reading it. I didn't feel like it was a slog.
One felt like a slog.
I didn't hate reading it. I didn't hate reading any of them. One was totally okay for me. But I just walked away with that where it's just like I almost kind of feel like I wasted my time.
Yeah.
Because they didn't go anywhere. I didn't take anything away from that. It was had a couple of funny moments in it, which if you look at like the first half of the video when we first started talking spoilers, we all thought it was very funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just no payoff.
Yeah. Outside of getting the chuckle.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's like when you turn on cartoons and it just happens to be like, oh yeah, I'll watch this. It's pretty funny. I like this.
And so Jose brought up a point before we started going to spoilers. If this was an anime, I probably would be able to like it more.
I'd watch it.
It feels more anime style to me, but it's about manga.
It would be more one of those like I'd binge it. It's almost
no way, man. Have you tried binging one of these anime before? Hell no.
I feel like it's like a cartoon. Like Jose said, you could watch it. Like you could put this on dubbed. I know, sacrilege, but you could put it on dubbed, and it would be like funny background noise, and you could like do other shit.
I'm saying, as someone who binge watches all of their anime, it is so hard binge watching something that's just completely episodic by itself. It's so hard.
No. I totally agree, because there's nothing keeping you coming back. Like, that's my biggest issue is like I can binge and then I have to like fucking dedicate myself to it.
I thought this was gonna be like the devil was a part timer.
That would have been fantastic.
See, that's what I thought.
It's
this
a little
was gonna
bit of
be
a
like.
reverse, where it's like they go to the other world instead of the other way around.
That's what I thought the setup was. I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, kind of funny.
Yeah. I try when picking them. I try to know as little as possible about it. Just like, hey, people seem to really like this one. It's 3 volumes in, perfect timing. Let's fucking do it. And I didn't really know much about this one except for seeing the covers and the synopsis on the back. But I mean, like, it's not, honestly, I just want to reiterate, it's not bad and it's better than Samurai 8. Okay?
I was thinking it.
So I just want to harp that one in there.
And we didn't even really hate Samurai 8.
Is straight story.
Yeah.
All the way through the fucking thing. And that shit I would still put below Witch's Printing Office.
I agree.
It's just like,
I think we even ended Samurai 8 saying we didn't hate it. It was just there was a lot of bad things about it.
Like, Samurai 8 is fucking mediocre. Like, incredibly mediocre. I would still put this in like the in-between mediocre and good range. Where it's like there is a lot of redeeming qualities about this. I just personally,
it's the opposite of Samurai 8.
wish it had a story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, that could just be me.
No,
these are all our opinions.
I think we're very samesies in taste, where I just wish there was a story. But it's good, man. Mm-hmm. If you like that kind of stuff, you will like this.
Yes.
Does anybody have anything else to say about it?
No, I think we've repeated ourselves.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love the art, and it was funny.
Yeah. I think that's all we can say. So that has been this month's Witch's Printing Office. The first 3 volumes. I don't even know when the 4th one's coming out.
Oh, true.
So, but it will be coming out. I'm pretty sure it's been announced already, so just stay tuned for that. The next one we're going to be doing, we're going to pick ahead of time. So this will be done in September, which will be when Jump to Zuka is ending. Sad face. But we're going to be going ham this month, which might be a little hard because we're going to be after doing all of Jump to Zuka and reading all the manga. So what we're doing this month, we normally do the first 3 volumes. How many of these have we done? 8, 9?
I think we've been doing it since November.
So
like 8.
So we're getting close.
9.
We're going to go ham. And this isn't even all that we're going to do. Okay, so let me explain. So if you guys have watched the podcast, we're going to be doing My Hero Academia Vigilante. There's the first 3 volumes right there, okay?
So do you want me
That's what we would normally do. And for the sake of not spoiling it for Josh and Jose, I'm going to keep the other volumes in my box.
So
we're going to be reading more than 3. There's 8 volumes. Jesus. The 8th one will be coming out in August. Okay?
Jesus.
So that is we'll catch up completely. But that's not all we're going to do either.
Oh my God.
So
wait, what?
Fucking Billy Mays this shit.
So the nice thing about reading a Shonen Jump
Them
manga
cheeks.
is that it's totally available online for like $2.
Is it the Viz Media one?
Yeah,
no,
it's the Viz Media one.
It's the whatever Jump
But for
uses.
$2, you could read all of their shit online. So this will be the easiest one ever if you want to read along with us, after Samurai 8, because that's last. So I believe this manga comes out bi-weekly, I believe is the setup. So whatever the manga chapter is come the first Friday of September, that's what we're going to read up to.
Woo!
Shit. Because the manga that comes out in
Challenge accepted.
I've read all this already, and I'm completely caught up with it. I'll be going back and reading it for when we do Mangaku. I know everything that happens in this, and the 8th volume that's coming out, you guys have to read that one. It's really good. So we're going to go past that to what's going on right now, which is kind of like in a big climax. So we'll be going all the way to that, and then we'll be stopping at that one.
So we'll essentially be reading 2 volumes a week.
Yes.
And we'll also be reading 3 to 4.
This will be the biggest undertaking we've done.
We are lazy fucks. God, this is great.
This is definitely one.
But we fucking love My Hero.
You'll love this.
Yeah.
I preached a good word on this for a long time.
Has been telling me to read this.
To Jose personally, way before we did it, and on the podcast, I've done it multiple times. I love this manga. Yeah. I think it's really good. I like the characters so much more in this manga.
And they build great characters in MHA.
I think this is really, really good. Especially, they do a great job of starting it up. I read it since the first chapter came out, and I've been sticking with it, and it's great. It's really good.
This is fucking cool.
Next month, first Friday of September, we'll be joining back up to read all of My Hero Academia Vigilantes and discussing about it, which will be a lot.
We'll probably have fucking notebooks.
There'll be a lot of storyline that happens.
We're going to bring notes?
Probably.
Okay.
Because there's a lot. There really is.
Bringing the old notepad out. Oof.
So if you guys want to read along with us, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll be posting there, I'm sure, for a lot of this stuff as we're reading it, because it's going to be a long one. And be sure to subscribe. We do Jump to Zuka the 3 weeks out of the 4. That
usually,
normally,
yeah.
Unless we have a weird
4 out
month.
of 5.
Unless we have 4 out of 5, yeah.
So
I think last month was pretty lengthy.
Yeah, I think that was one where we got fucked. So we will be doing Jump to Zuka next week, then the week after, then the week after, and then we'll be back for regular Mangaku, which we'll be doing My Hero Academia Vigilantes.
To go off what Sam just said, we normally shout out in the podcast, but since this is another one of our popular videos, our subscriber count's up. So please subscribe.
Thank you. Yeah.
It helps us out a lot. It really does. When you guys like and comment, YouTube loves that, so they boost our videos.
Yeah, and it's very ego boosting for me. I just come
Josh,
on and
you see
like,
Josh
hanging
rubbing
around.
himself, and
it's great.
he'll read your comments, maybe reply.
Yeah.
This one has the Sam approval stamp on it, so I guarantee you guys will like it.
This is good.
It'll be so good.
This is different because you've read it,
Yes.
you have full knowledge of it. So yeah, you always pick really good ones. There's been a few where we purposely went out of our way to pick bad ones. So
yeah. For
the one,
a couple,
we don't want to talk about it again.
down the line, I've been thinking of are off the beaten path, but I can just feel like we're probably not gonna like it. So I just don't know. We'll see. We might go off the wall a couple from now where it's just completely different, but we all very much like shonen, so it's it's very easy, and there's a fuck ton of shonen that comes out all the time.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to just keep picking the shonen all the way through.
Yes.
So, okay, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, we appreciate it. And I've already said all the outro, so we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.